So the last two combat relics for magic and necromancy have been revealed, and I am confused because now my chart that I've been using to keep track of all the relics is all over the place. I wasn't expecting to get a necromancy relic, but now that it has been released, I am confused because this was my original chart, and I was basing a lot of it off of this picture right here. And the problem we have is there are 4 combat runes, combat relics, but there's only 3 that has been listed on each tier. So there's an issue. So I don't know how this is going to be solved. So I think it can be a few ways, right? It can be tier 6 and tier 7 have 4 relics. It could be the case that the tier 4 relics, which is what I originally pinned as the combat relic tier, will have the 3 for the original combat styles, and then the necromancy will be put into tier 5 or tier 6. Or it could be anything else, right? Anything else, because I'm not sure where everything goes. So I did draft up a new document to hopefully organize these relics. So let's just go over these relics. So the soul Aura, whatever it's called, is pretty much the same as the melee and range, but then it has the necromancy spirits are 25% larger and deal 25% more damage, which is good. You save ectoplasm and runes, which is also good. It's pretty generic again. And you unlock all of the abilities from the necromancy wall of soul, which is the most important thing here, because gaining those souls from necromancy is going to be, would have been, I should say, extremely time consuming if players did it the conventional way. So this would cut off that need to do that. And then let's see if I can find this, the magic one. The magic, again, similar, same 3 abilities for the first 3, and then magic against a 50% increased critical strike damage. And they save runes, so similar to the necromancy one, where you save necromancy runes, you save 95% of your normal magic runes, but you gain that 50% critical strike damage, which is interesting because one thing that I'm thinking is, how are players going to acquire these gears, right? To get elite tectonic and all these armors, you need to do group content. So I'm just wondering how that relationship works in a league's format and setting. That's interesting. Overall, if I had to rate my personal enjoyment on what relics are the best from best to worst, I would say the worst by far would be the range relic, followed by the necromancy relic, and then magic and melee are tied. So here's what I think, and here's where I think that these relics will be placed. So I'm going to go with my original plan, which was tier 4 for the original combat styles. This lines up with the image, right? So even though this image might be outdated by the time everything comes out, if you look closely at this, you can see like the middle one is green, which stands out a bit because that does look like the range icon, whilst the melee icons are pretty much yellow, which is what they look like here. And it kind of does look like this is a sword and shield because of how it's separated. But that being said, where does a necromancy one go? I don't know. I actually have no idea where this is going to be. I do think the tier 4 relics are all combat relics for the original combat styles, and I think what Jaggers are going to do here is they're going to give players a choice for the original combat styles plus the option to pick from necromancy, because I don't think there will be 4 options in one tier. I don't think they'll do that, because you'd have to design the interface to do that. Because as we can see, the interface is designed for 3 relics per slot, and you can obviously do 2 here, but you can't do 4 unless you resize them, and that would also require you to resize the entire interface. So if I had to guess, necromancy could either be going to tier 3, this is the old image, or which, if we're looking back at tier 3 here, it doesn't look like there's any tier 3 that looks like necromancy. So it can either be tier 5, which that's a possibility, or tier 6, which is also another possibility. So I'm not sure where the necromancy relic fits in and what tier it will be. Considering how powerful necromancy is in terms of convenience and how fast you can level up, it's already the fastest leveling up skill that is available, right? Necromancy 99s are like McDonald's Happy Meals, you get them all the time. It's nothing special because it's so fast to level up on the baseline, and then you combine that with presumably at least 3 tiers worth of upgrades and unlocks in terms of experience boosts. This will be insanely fast. So that's where I think it might be tier 6. We don't know the tier 6 relics, and then obviously I'm going to have to place the other relics into this, which I'm not sure where I'm going to do that. So placing the Production Master and the Perfection relic is going to be difficult now. My original image, I had it as tier 5, and I still think they would fit in very well into tier 5 based off of the information we have, based off this screenshot. But then again, I'm like wondering about the progression here, and where certain things will fit in, and what Giants are thinking about what the expectation is and what players would unlock and where they would unlock it. I think with the accelerated experience rate, you can definitely expect players to unlock invention really fast, and which is weird, right? Because Production Master is very useful for crafting and those type of skills, right? Grants the Elder Brooch of Gods, and you get all the the crafting urns, and you never burn food. You never elders. The urns are infinite supplies and all this. While wearing your brooch of the Elder Gods, you will gain portable skilling stations, which is useful for leveling up. When wearing the brooch of the Elder Gods, you'll get a spawn Siren Spirit, which again is also good, and you get the +6 increase in stats. So this one I think could be in tier 6, and the Necromancy one could be in tier 5. I definitely stand on the fact that the Invention relic will be in tier 5. I'm just not sure on these next two now. But other than that, this is like the current update on the relics and where I think that they will be placed and their value to the game. I think out of all the combat relics that I'm looking forward to, melee is the number one. Magic is behind that, and then crafting, not crafting, range and necromancy. I don't necessarily care about. I think they are the weakest ones by far, and offer the least. And that's it. That's the update for today.